Look at that sandwich. Crispy chicken cutlet, spicy pesto, mozzarella, and fresh baked bread. Let's make this.
Let's start our pesto. I started with a blender but moved to a food processor because my blender just couldn't hack it. We want to add 2 cups of fresh basil, a half a cup of pine nuts, quarter cup Parmesan, teaspoon of crushed black pepper, half teaspoon of salt. Now black pepper to taste, I did about 1/8 of a teaspoon, 1 garlic clove, the juice of a half lemon. We're gonna do a half a cup of olive oil. I started with a little bit just to see the consistency, but I ultimately wound up using the entire half cup. Now this is where I moved to the food processor because my blender just couldn't get things combined, but just a little bit of time in the food processor and I got a beautiful, creamy, smooth pesto. Let's talk breadcrumbs. I did plain panko, and then I added some Italian seasoning. I did 1 teaspoon per cup. I don't like packaged breadcrumbs. I honestly find there's a lot of crap in them, a lot of preservatives, a lot of additives, a lot of chemicals that just really aren't great. So I put these in a blender to get them to the texture of regular breadcrumbs you'd normally buy. Once that's combined, I went ahead and added some Parmesan cheese and a little bit of salt, not too much only because the cheese is very salty, and then I just mixed those together with a fork. Now let's do our chicken cutlets. I have a standard dredge station set up, flour, beaten egg, and the breadcrumbs. So you just go flour, egg, and to the breadcrumbs. Now we're only gonna do 1 coat of the breadcrumbs. Honestly, you don't need more than that. Just make sure you get them really nice and packed in there so you get a good solid coat. I prepared 4 cutlets in advance because I wasn't sure how many would fit on the sandwich. In a large frying pan, I have enough oil to coat the bottom of the pan. I'm doing this over medium-high heat, and this should take anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. You want to make sure you have an Insta-Read thermometer. That way you can really check the doneness of the chicken. You don't want to overdo it, and obviously you don't want to undercook it. But flip it as soon as you see it turn a nice little bit of golden brown, and you might have to flip it a few times depending on how quickly or slowly the chicken is cooking. I like to sprinkle with a little salt each time I flip the chicken. Next, we're gonna move these chicken cutlets to a cookie sheet because we're gonna place these under the broiler to melt the cheese. So go ahead and layer your mozzarella. I do recommend using fresh mozzarella versus the shredded. Shredded mozzarella just doesn't melt the right way. Now let's assemble our sandwich. I have this gorgeous, freshly baked rustic roll. I'm telling you, this bread was so good. The outside was thin and crispy. The inside was just soft, pillowy, and chewy, perfect for this sandwich. We're gonna get a nice, good coating of that beautiful, vibrant pesto. I'm telling you, this pesto came out so good. Now let's get our chicken on there. I started with 3 cutlets because I wasn't sure how much room I'd have, so I went ahead and quickly melted the cheese on the 4th one.
You can see how crazy this sandwich looks. Oh my God, it is so good. Every bite. Eating this thing is a workout. The spicy pesto, off the hook. Pesto is so vibrant and delicious. The chicken cutlets, crispy, juicy. This bread, just wait for the video on this bread. This bread is so awesome. It's messy and delicious and awesome. You gotta make this. The recipe link will be in the bio. The video for the bread will be out soon. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and keep cooking.